Brother and Sil kept leaving their baby with me without asking, so I threatened to report an abandoned child if they didn't stop. My 23F brother, 25 meters, and Sil, 24F, live with me. They had a baby in December 22nd and I expressly told them I wouldn't be able to watch him unless previously asked to. I wouldn't watch him for anything short of an absolute emergency unless they had asked earlier and I'd agreed. All of this was said and agreed upon before he was born. Well, about 2 months after he was born, they started asking me to take him for a minute, then they'd leave. At first it was short periods, but it gradually got longer and longer until I reminded them about our agreement. It stopped for a while, but eventually they started doing it again. This process repeated on and off until the baby was about 6 months old and I decided I'd had enough. So my Sil asked me to watch the baby for a minute, her exact words, and I told her okay, I have plans in a bit though, so I can't watch him for long. She told me it wouldn't be long and walked out of the house. About 20 minutes pass and she's still not back, so I called her. She said she was about to walk into a movie and would call me when it was over. No? So I tell her I have a job interview and I have to leave in 20 minutes, if you're not back by then, I will leave him in his crib and call the police to report an abandoned child. She arrived just as I was leaving the house and they've never left him with me like that again, but I still get so much crap during holidays and such when the entire family is together. My mother also complains that she now has to watch him for the last minute stuff they want to do. So I have to know, Ida? Edit to say, we all live in my parents' house together. I have lived there for almost 4 years and they only moved in just before the baby was born, so I have the habit of calling the house mine when technically it is not. Edit, part 2, literally copy and pasted from my comment. To clarify, why parents do not live with us. They have an apartment. My parents were in the apartment way before I moved into the house. After we all moved out, they downsized and rented the house out. Their last tenants left about a month before I was discharged from the military and my parents asked if I wanted to rent the house from them. I said yes and moved in, and I've been paying the mortgage, and since my brother moved in, we've been splitting the bills. My parents do not want to live in the house because they are old and disabled and the house isn't really disabled friendly. My mother has diabetes, a torn MCL and meniscus in her knee, and has dislocated her shoulder recently. My father has a herniated disc in his back and whatever the disease is called that slowly fuses your bones together, so he's mostly in a wheelchair and occasionally uses a walker. The house is not designed for wheelchair use, so he can't even get to the bathrooms, he can only get to the living room and kitchen. I'm so sorry, my parents' disabilities have led them to not living in the home they own but don't want to renovate for things they deem unnecessary.